Good afternoon, everyone. Absolutely. It's nice, instead of it being a regular school day, it's nice to see everybody on time today. Very nicely done. Very glad that everybody could join us today for our 2020 graduation ceremony. Before we start, just a couple reminders for everyone. Graduates should really be the only ones out of their car besides staff members right now. When your graduate is directed to head up to the stage to receive their diploma, they may be escorted by one person that may come up to take some pictures. We are fortunate that we have Tricia McCormick here today that will be taking photos of every graduate. And yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much, Tricia. She's donating her time here today. She is also going to have all the photos available on a website for people to download later on, and you will receive an email regarding that next week. We'd also like to make sure that everyone's wearing a protective mask when they're outside of their car. The only time we'd like masks taken off is if you are up here speaking, or after you receive your diploma, you may pull your mask off for your picture, but then put it back on before you continue along. At the conclusion of the ceremony, please be patient. At the conclusion of the ceremony, we will be dismissing rows at a time instead of just kind of opening things up and letting everybody jump out of here at the same time. So please be patient. There are about 70 cars here in the lot today, so we will be kind of releasing cars one row at a time. So if you could leave your cars off after the ceremony until your row is ready to move along. We're very excited to have the opportunity to be here together today, so here we go. If I could ask all the graduates to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and for our national anthem. They're going to do pomp and circumstance, so you can wait there for a second. We have one up front. So as we're waiting here, you should be able to look up on the screen. You'll watch. You'll be able to see some of our graduates that are playing Pomp and Circumstance for us.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say, can you see
that so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Graduates would please be seated. School Committee Chairman Robert Vaughn, Principal Michael Kneibel, Vice Principal Brian Cogswell, members of the Lenox Memorial Middle High School faculty, family members and friends of the graduates, and members of the class of 2020. I'm William Cameron, the Interim Superintendent of the Lenox Public Schools. It's my honor to welcome you on this glorious day to the graduation ceremony, celebrating the accomplishments and achievements, not least of all the completion of all requirements for graduation, of the members of the remarkable Lenox Memorial High School class of 2020. The class of 2020 started its final year of high school, inhabiting one world. They leave high school as another and quite different world is emerging. A Greek thinker of the 5th century BCE, Heraclitus of Ephesus, as translated by Philip Wheelwright, famously wrote, "You cannot step twice into the same river, for other waters and yet others go ever flowing on. Never in my lifetime," which ensures that never in the lifetime of any member of the class of 2020, have Heraclitus's words seemed to describe more accurately the way the world is today. Political turmoil we have not undergone since the eve of the Civil War roils our country. A pandemic on a scale last seen when World War I was ending is underway, caused by a heretofore unknown virus that is far from checked. It has killed hundreds of thousands and disrupted lives across the globe, including in Lenox, Massachusetts. As a result of COVID-19, we are undergoing economic dislocation and distress that matches the worst years of the Great Depression. And like a hurricane that sweeps in during an earthquake, social upheaval has arisen from the consequences of white America's continuing refusal to act as if we actually believe that all human beings are created equal. Throw in man-made climate change for good measure, and we have a fair description of the world into which the class of 2020 is setting forth. In his essay, The Perfect Critic, T.S. Eliot observes that the philosopher Aristotle, whom he takes to be the perfect critic, teaches us by example that, quote, "There is no method except to be very intelligent." Eliot was referring to Aristotle's lucid and immensely influential literary criticism. But Eliot's observation of what Aristotle exemplifies applies far beyond the field of literary studies. I will put the matter directly. A mechanistic approach to solving problems would not in the end have prepared you, the class of 2020, for the world you are entering. Things are changing too quickly and too unpredictably for that. As with Heraclitus's river, what you would have learned yesterday about a world in such flux would likely be inapplicable to the world tomorrow. What then is needed to leave high school? What has been the result of your 13 years of what the French call formation? Fortunately, the things required for you to make your way from this day forward are the very things a broad and rigorous Lenox education has brought you. One is a nimble mind sharpened on the strop of hard questioning and thoughtful answering. Another is reflection, not just on how things happen, but on why things happen as they do. Yet another is the capacity to work as a member of a team, a community, a society, and ultimately our common team known as humanity. And finally, there's the key to it all, sound character. It's been said that character is who you are when no one else is looking. And it's that person, after all, the one you are when no one's looking, who must find her or his way through life. The excellent teachers, the demanding program of study, the extracurricular opportunities in which each of you has, in her and his own way, shown, so that each of you is justifiably a source of pride to your family and your community. These aspects of a Lenox education have all helped each of you to become who you are as you now move on. What you make henceforth of who you are now and how you deal with the challenges you will face will define who you ultimately will be. It's my great privilege to welcome you to these ceremonies. I will now ask that you welcome the Lenox Memorial High School Class of 2020's salutatorian, Alexandra Hochfelder.
You can take the mask off to speak too if you'd like. I forgot.
Good afternoon and congratulations everyone, but especially to me because I showered this morning. I have always been ready for the next big thing. As a child, after watching High School Musical on a continuous loop, high school felt to me like the most extraordinary thing in the world. There would be drama and romance and excitement. I envisioned myself as a teenager wearing high heels and a feather boa and always prepared to break into song and dance. Josie Yuso and I used to carry around books around the house and pretend to be teenagers running late to class. I went through a phase where all I drew was teenagers' side profiles. However, I found that being a high schooler wasn't exactly what Disney cracked it up to be. Unfortunately, the times I've tried standing and dancing on tables during lunch have been poorly received. Many days of high school blend together, and things are often just status quo. So, throughout high school, I found myself looking towards the next step, which for me was college. Anticipating college gave purpose to the endless homework on nights I had work and rehearsal and a fight with my brother. College would make it all worth it. But here we are on the brink of the next big step without the ceremonial high school musical countdown to summer and without the guarantee of what the next big step will look like. I'm not going to stand up here and say there's some beautiful universal silver lining to this situation. This is a total disappointment. And as compelling as it was to watch Obama give a commencement speech on CNN and having a Jumbotron in the parking lot, it's not the same. Our generation is always ridiculed for our dependence on instant gratification. Our phones and technology and the internet have apparently made us soft. And since I've always been on such a clear path in my life, the idea of having to pause has always terrified me. But where people are wrong is in their belief that the delayed gratification will kill us. I can't tell you that I've somehow learned to live in the moment, or I've attained a magical appreciation for nature, or even that I've learned to accept uncertainty. I'm properly freaked out. However, the worst case scenario is here, and we're still here, and that's got to stand for something. After all these years of being a slave to deadlines, checkpoints, and the College Board, in these past few months, I found myself dedicating my time to things that are truly important to me. Family, friends, art, social justice, and learning for the sake of learning. I am much too type A to ever say, live in the moment unironically, and too much of an angsty teenager to say everything is going to be okay. I don't live by that, and I don't want to say that to you. We're all off our set courses. This is a time of majorly yucky uncertainty. Whether it be heading into the workforce, college, or the military, none of us is exempt. We're in this state of limbo, and despite the discomfort, we're getting up every morning and taking on the day. And we've proved the boomers wrong. Our gratification has been delayed indefinitely, but we're all here trying to find pockets of joy in our lives. Even with all these unknowns, there are some facts that remain the same. High School Musical still slaps. Mrs. Kaminsky will still love you. Julia Haddad will always be ranting. Dr. Stranko will still ask rhetorical questions, and I will always have something else to say. So, one last thing. Things might not be okay right now, or next Wednesday, or next September, but we should be proud of ourselves for every day we wake up and show up and don't punch a hole in a wall. I am so genuinely proud of us. Congratulations, everyone.
Hi. I want to start by thanking all the teachers from kindergarten to senior year who helped us get here. And thanks also to everyone who made this in-person graduation possible. Without the usual celebrations and milestones for the end of senior year, we've had to find our own ways of marking time. Instead of taking the humanities field trip to MoMA, I binge-watched a ridiculous amount of Mad Men. Without improv meetings, I went to Dunkin' Donuts 4 days in a row. The point is, we've all had to find ways to make this final stretch feel special. The disruption caused by COVID has prevented us from seeing friends and family and celebrating the lead up to graduation. We've all worked so hard since we started high school in 2016 with this day as our end goal. The things we took for granted as rites of passage never happened. Instead, we're trying to become adults and figure out our place in the world at a time when the whole country is overwhelmed by uncertainty. But all this uncertainty has also given us an opportunity to rethink what the world could look like. This is a moment when we can examine how we respond to the crises around us, both coronavirus and the renewed outrage about police brutality across our state and country. Do we retreat into ourselves or try to break out of our comfort zones? All I know is that as we respond, we should embody the kind of people we want to be moving forward. If we want to practice what we preach, the 6 pillars, equality, justice for Black lives, if we actually care about those things beyond posting on Instagram and putting signs in the hallways, then we have to commit to showing up when it matters, educating ourselves, and having tough conversations with our families and friends. I'm incredibly grateful for the education and the community that Lenox has given me, but I also want to urge us to think about the stories that didn't get as much airtime in our classes. That's not so much an isolated problem within Lenox as it is with the whole system we live in as Americans, but we should ask what Lenox can do to be anti-racist, to condemn homophobia, and to shine light on some of those blind spots in our education. As we go forward, we need to think about the blind spots that we have too. I've been struggling with how to say something meaningful in 3 minutes when I feel so uncertain about what comes next. Our plans for the fall, whether they include college or work, are all up in the air. I don't know how to fit all the complicated thoughts and feelings I'm sure many of us have been wrestling with over the last couple months into one speech. And I'm not sure how to tie this year up in a neat bow and put each memory and lesson in its own little box. But I do know that this is an important moment, and that all of us have a role to play in how we respond to the pandemic and how we rise to the challenge of creating a racially just society. People our age are at the forefront of movements for social justice, and we have the opportunity to make lasting change by confronting our problems head on. I feel so lucky to be surrounded by classmates who are so invested in making our community a better place to live, and who are already asking how they can make change in the Berkshires and beyond. I can't wait to see where we go from here. Thank you.
Words are flowing out like endless rain into a paper cup. They slither while they pass, they slip away across the universe.
Pools of sorrow, waves of joy are drifting through my open mind, possessing and caressing me. Jai Guru tumble blindly as they make their way across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world. 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 Sounds of laughter, shades of life are ringing through my opened ears, inciting and inviting me. Limitless, undying love which shines around me like a million suns and calls me on and on across the universe. Jai Guru Deva. Nothing's gonna change my world.
Good afternoon, students, family members, educators, school administrators, and anyone else who's in attendance today. My name is Spencer Valinsky, and I'm thrilled that I'm speaking with you all today. Very quickly, I'd like to discuss the coronavirus disease, even though I'm sure everybody's incredibly sick of hearing about that. Across the country, high schools, colleges, and universities have been scratching their heads about how they're going to recreate the senior end-of-year activities that they've come to expect. Our situation is no different. For proof, look no further than the manner in which we are celebrating right now. We now find ourselves scrambling to recreate the senior end-of-year activities we've observed throughout the years, except now we must strictly adhere to the current health guidelines. To give an example, our class was supposed to enjoy our senior class trip to Newport, Rhode Island. Our prospective trip, as well as the other senior end-of-year activities as we've come to expect them, were scrapped. With all that said, my classmates beautifully, with everything that's happened, took it in stride, and I truly believe that speaks volumes for this group's grit and resilience. Anyway, here is the graduation speech I wish I could be delivering that wasn't bogged down by some lousy pandemic disclaimer. Typically, speeches such as this ought to reflect on the class's shared schooling. However, unlike many of my classmates, I did not attend Morris Elementary School. Through school choice, I, along with my close friends, joined Lenox Memorial Middle and High School's class of 2020 starting in 6th grade. Therefore, when I first met this group, we were completely unfamiliar, given that we hadn't spent primary school together. Despite that, I was accepted into this group with open arms. Going back as far as Mr. Stephen Connuel's 6th grade reading class, I was amazed by my classmates' friendliness and sociability. And sticking with 6th grade, anyone remember Nature's Classroom? In 6th grade, our entire class spent several days and nights in Beckett, Massachusetts, going through a hands-on educational program that emphasized team building and experience-based learning in an outdoor setting. Again, considering that I hadn't known my classmates very long at this point, Nature's Classroom gave me an amazing opportunity to bond with my classmates, and I was struck by their daring, energetic, and intrepid nature. And who could possibly forget Miss Elizabeth Gray's 7th and 8th grade social studies classes? Recently, Miss Gray shared our wonderfully ridiculous video projects from all those years ago with the entire class via email. For instance, I, along with several of my classmates, started a parody of Keeping Up with the Kardashians called Keeping Up with the Caesars. This brilliant reality television series followed the life happenings of famed former Roman consul Julius Caesar. But despite its insightful and rather tasteful retelling of the source material and spellbinding performances from both the future valedictorian and salutatorian, among others, the series was canned after just one episode. Pretty tragic. But I must say, as hilarious and reminiscent as these home movies are, they are slightly difficult to watch. They're sobering reminders that this long journey we've embarked upon together has unexpectedly enough reached its conclusion. It seems impossible that the kids staring back at you through that computer screen, poorly acting in front of a green screen, wearing these ridiculous costumes, trying their best not to break character, actually grew up. It cannot be emphasized enough the massive changes that we've all undergone since then. As a matter of fact, I do believe that our younger selves wouldn't even recognize us today. They'd be pinching themselves if someone told them one day they will grow up to be the badass they see sitting on that Tanglewood stage. Or in our case, the parking lot stage. We have grown up and transformed ourselves tremendously, whether that's the lessons acquired from our parents and teachers, getting to know ourselves, subjecting ourselves to life-changing experiences, conquering our fears, protesting something unjust, creating lifelong friendships, or finding our calling. And I'd like to conclude by again sympathizing with my classmates whose senior year of high school ended abruptly and unfairly thanks to the outbreak of the coronavirus disease. That said, I haven't any doubt in my mind that anything, especially some lousy pandemic, will stop us from reaching our fullest potential and achieving incredible things in the future. I am eternally grateful to all my graduating classmates that accepted me into their ranks and made all the success that I've enjoyed at Lenox Memorial Middle and High School possible. This incredible class filled with athletes, artists, activists, scientists, historians, mathematicians, writers, deep thinkers, open-minded global citizens, unwavering warriors, and leaders of tomorrow. Class of 2020, I cannot wait to witness your incredible accomplishments for years to come. Thank you for electing me to lead you now in the foreseeable future, and I promise I'll do my best. Thank you.
Line up, Connor.
This thing is a pain in the ass. How you doing? Man, I never really thought in my years being here that I would be sitting on this podium giving a speech to some really great people. People who helped me. People who extended their arms in friendship. People who I'm proud to be standing here today right now. But that brings me to the main focus of today's speech. I wanted to say something for the longest time, but could never quite find the right moment, time, or place for it. Or the words. But now, I have those words. And now, of all the most likely times, this is the best time. What I wanted to say was, thank you. Thank you for being there for me. When I was a kid who just moved here, it was a truly terrifying experience. At least for me. I moved around my sophomore year and could have not been in a more compromising position. I did not show up in middle school, so I did not have a chance to build friendships early on. Couple that with the new school environment, in a completely different state, I thought I was a goner. I remember taking my first steps, through that door by the way, questioning if this is what I really wanted. But when I walked into those doors, into the main lobby, there was no finger pointing, there was no gossip directed at me. Alright, I thought to myself, let's just settle down and see where this goes. I was shocked people were actually being nice to me. Some were even talking to me. What are my hobbies? Where do I come from? I even left school that day making a friend. And things beyond that were just getting better and better. More and more people were hanging out with me. I wasn't sitting alone in the lunchroom anymore. I had people coming to greet me. People were just piling in. The old Connor just started to come out more and more. At the end of junior year rolls around, I made more friends. I even managed to get a club going. My personality was up. My grades got better. It felt great. I was actually gaining ground piece by piece. I was slowly rebuilding who I was as a person. I threw a party over the summer and got quite the turn up. It was great. That brings me to our senior year. It was most likely the best of my life, and even though it was cut short, I still feel the need to thank each and every single one of you who took a chance on me. Whatever that was, just talking to me or just showing up to one of my parties or hell, even going to one of my club meets, I appreciate each and every single one of you. I thank you for every time you made me laugh, helped me through my years here at Lenox. I hope to see some of you in the near future, and may your years be as bright as my future in the near future. I thank you for your time. How you doing?
Boy, after looking at this empty parking lot for 3 months, I think it's outstanding to see parents, grandparents, family, friends, and the Lenox community members sharing this beautiful day with us. We're very lucky. This is typically the part of the ceremony where I share one more life lesson with the senior class. But this year, I struggled. I knew it was going to be different because what I have to bring is what the class of 2020 taught me. I have watched this group of young people do so many things right, from middle school all the way through high school. And when schools closed March 13th, I was never more impressed at our senior class. Separate but together. The entire class had compassion, resilience, a passion for learning, deep friendships, empathy, and a winning attitude. But most of all, they had grit. So as I looked for words of wisdom to share with this particular class, and Julie's brother Nick can say, you know, he heard it. He heard a lesson the last day. But I was stumped, so I pulled out my 365 Days of Wonder, a quote for every day, by R.J. Palacio. And guess what date I looked at? March 13th. So I turned to March 13th, and it was the class of 2020. A quote from Henry Stanley Haskins. What lies behind us and what lies before us are but tiny matters compared to what lies within us. That's you, class of 2020. You have it all in you. You know, March, April, May, and even August, September, and October, it doesn't matter because all that matters is what lies within us as a community of Lenox. A treasure lies within the class of 2020. For success is all within you, and you have what it takes to shine long into the future. So anyway, 2020, you taught me that. It's what's within you, and you've got it all. You've got grit. And high school has been a blast with you. Thank you. So that brings us to the moment we've been waiting for. The graduates will stand by row and head to the back aisle behind your car and follow the arrows up to the platform. Staff will guide you from there, but first, to the chairman of our school committee, Robert Vaughn, and Superintendent Dr. Cameron, as principal of Lenox Memorial High School, I certify that these seniors have met all the requirements set forth by the Lenox Public Schools in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts. By the power vested in me, I hereby declare the class of 2020 to be graduates of Lenox Memorial High School. Sierra, go ahead. You're leading the way.
Social distance on the spots. Seniors, right onto the spots as you make your way along, so Sierra can come all the way up to the front. And just maintain your social distance as we're going, okay?
Sierra Nevaeh Francis Basansani. Sierra received the Senior Internship Award. So as the seniors leave the platform, you'll head around the screen and you'll pick up your awards, scholarships, and everything else that we owe you. Carla Michelle Calvo. Carla is receiving the Austin Riggs and Erickson Institute Scholarship in the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship. Juliana Elizabeth Monteleone. Julie is receiving the Big Y Scholarship, the Dennis and Anne Marie Duffin Arts Scholarship, the Order of the Sons of Italy of Massachusetts Scholarship, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, and the Lenox Veteran of Foreign Wars Post 12079 Academic Award. Erin Elizabeth Saluzniak. Erin is receiving the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, the Lusitano Alumni and Friends Scholarship, and the Georgetown University Academic Scholarship. Taylor Marie Knight. Ooh.
That's what we had next in line. Nope, she's coming. She's coming. We're good. Kendall's next, yeah. Yeah, nice job, well done. Just take out the mask for the picture.
Taylor is receiving the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship, the St. Michael's Nominate a Future Knight Scholarship, and the St. Michael's Student Scholarship. Kendall Samantha Lamb. Kendall is receiving the Greylock Federal Credit Union Community Enrichment Scholarship, the John D. Barrett Memorial Scholarship, the Lenox Ambulance Squad Scholarship, and the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship. Claire Elizabeth Lynch. Claire is receiving the Lenox Chamber of Commerce Johnny Applesqueeze Scholarship, the Lenox Fire Company Oscar Hutchinson Memorial Scholarship, the Girl Scout Troop 402188281 Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, and the Veteran of Foreign Wars Post 12079 Academic Award. Kayla Louise Martigano. Kayla is receiving the Senior Internship Award. Itzel Concepcion Soriano. Itzel is receiving the Jeanette B. Nielsen Memorial Scholarship. Emma Marie Sorrentino. Emma is receiving the Joanne Huntley McGee Memorial Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Cross Country Running Booster Club Scholarship, the Nordic Ski Club Scholarship, the Order of the Sons of Italy of America Grand Lodge of Massachusetts Scholarship, the G. Marconi Lodge 1620 Deceased Members Memorial Award, the Tri-Town Rotary Scholarship, the Lee Chamber of Commerce Joe Sorrentino Scholar Athlete Scholarship, and the University of Vermont Presidential Scholarship. Robert Earl Turner. Robert is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Josephine Michelle Yuso. Josie is receiving the Lenox Memorial Cross Country Running Booster Club Scholarship. Isabella Virginia Williams. Isabella is receiving the Esther Samuels and Mabel Corman Scholarship, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, the University of New Hampshire Presidential and Opportunity Scholarships, and the College Life Science and Agricultural Academic Engagement Award. Jade Montgomery Allward. Jade is receiving the Lenox Memorial Basketball Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Youth Basketball Scholarship, the Lenox Police Association David Lane Scholarship, and the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship. Erica Ann Bartelli. Erica is receiving the Lenox Memorial Wellness Scholarship. Ethan Everett Bryans. Ethan is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Sydney Lee Corcoran. Sydney is receiving the Mary Jane Pignatelli Memorial Scholarship. Elena Lucia Crane Cuerta. Elena is receiving the Alan R. and Lois H. Sykes Scholarship, the Virtual High School Scholarship, and the Ohio State University National Buckeye Scholar and Provost Scholarships. Kevin Jose Andres Delgado. Kevin is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Alexis Priscilla Fletcher. Alexis is receiving the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship. Julia Ruth Haddad. Julia is receiving the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship and the Bryant University Archway Scholarship. Lindsay Grace Heppelston. Lindsay is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship and the Salve Regina Presidential Scholarship and the Salve Regina Cliff Walk Award. Alexandra Eden Sakon Hofelder. Allie is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship and the Jewish Federation of the Berkshires Scholarship. Catherine Ruth Nichols. Kat is receiving the Lenox Memorial Basketball Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Youth Basketball Scholarship, the Mark Huber Basketball Scholarship, and the Coach Joseph Mikowski Award. Chloe Elizabeth Odell. Chloe is receiving the Lenox Ambulance Squad Scholarship and the Mary Jane Pignatelli Memorial Scholarship. Ava Imani Williams. Ava is receiving the Eugene J. Mackey Jr. Book Award and the Robert S. Tilliston Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship. Harry Simca Albert. Harry is receiving the Lenox Chamber of Commerce Johnny Apple Squeeze Award. Landon Thomas Arachi. Landon is receiving the Pittsfield Cooperative Bank Scholarship. Joseph Christopher Carroll. Joe is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Michael Nathaniel D'Alton. Michael is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship. Maxwell David Doust. Max is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Isabella Jane Farr. Isabella is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship. Jeremy Matthew Fox. Jeremy is receiving the Lenox Veterans of Foreign Wars Post 12079 Award. Maximilian Deacon Cater. Max is receiving the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship. Jonah Nelson Cruzia. Jonah is receiving the Senior Internship Award and the Porter and Chester Institute Scholarship. Nora Keller Matthews. Nora is receiving the Lenox Memorial Cross Country Running Booster Club Scholarship, the Greylock Federal Credit Union Community Enrichment Scholarship, the James Hurley Award, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, and the Brown University Scholarship. Amelia Jane Reese. Amelia is receiving the Lenox Memorial Cross Country Running Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Basketball Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Youth Basketball Scholarship, the Lenox Fire Company Oscar Hutchinson Memorial Scholarship, the Lenox Ambulance Squad Scholarship, the Lenox Education Association Scholarship, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, the Lenox Police Association Donald McGuire Award, and the Syracuse University Leadership Scholarship. Angelo Lawrence Romeo. Angelo is receiving the Senior Internship Award. Hannah Virginia Sample. Hannah is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship. Connor Peter Schenk. Connor is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Zachary Corden Suffish. Zach is receiving the Lenox Memorial Booster Club Scholarship. Isaac Nicholas Tabakin. Isaac is receiving the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship. Jake Time Thompson. Jake is receiving the Lenox Memorial Basketball Booster Club Scholarship. Brock William Bowman. Brock is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Kiana Murrin Black. Kiana is receiving the Adams Community Bank Scholarship and the John and Abigail Adams Scholarship. Nathaniel Alphonsus Haley. Nathaniel is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship. Julian Colabatista Hashim. Julian is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Jason Ross Jacoby. Jason is receiving the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship and the University of Connecticut Merit Scholarship. David Ronald Jakacki. David is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship. Boomby Mary Lahart. Boomby is receiving the Lenox Chamber of Commerce Johnny Applesqueeze Scholarship, the Lenox Education Association Scholarship, the James Hurley Award, and the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship. Maxime Pierre Romeo Leger. Maxime is receiving the Academy Garden Club of Lenox Scholarship, the Berkshire Organization of Language Teachers Scholarship, the Burger King Scholarship, the Knights of Columbus Scholarship, the Lenox Chamber of Commerce Johnny Applesqueeze Scholarship, the George Dairy Memorial and Judy Peters Memorial Scholarships, the Lenox Memorial Cross Country Running Booster Club and the Nordic Ski Club Scholarships, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, the Lenox Veteran of Foreign Wars Post 12079 Academic Scholarship, the Police Association Mary Martha Sorrentino Scholarship, and the Joseph Mikowski Award. John Carlisle Reed Majaj. Reed is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Kristen Eileen Miller. Kristen is receiving the Senior Internship Award. John Thomas Nowitzki. JT is receiving the Lenox Memorial Nordic Ski Club Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, the Michael Elihu Hedges Memorial Scholarship, the St. Anne's Church Scholarship, the Lusitano Alumni and Fans Scholarship, and the Rochester Institute of Technology Presidential Scholarship. Austin Robert Pierce. Austin is receiving the Robert S. Tilliston and Marion Ferguson Tilliston Scholarship. Cody Waters Tremblay. Cody is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Spencer Charles Valinsky. Spencer is receiving the Burger King Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Soccer Booster Club Scholarship, and the LaSalle University Fashion Merchandising Scholarship. Peyton Charles Doyle. Peyton is receiving the Lenox Memorial Baseball Booster Scholarship and a Northeastern University Scholarship. John Burrell Fielding. John is receiving the Lenox Memorial Baseball Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Basketball Booster Club Scholarship, and the Lenox Youth Basketball Scholarship. Nicholas J. Nikotra. Nick is receiving the Eugene Mackey Jr. Book Award, the Lenox Fire Company Oscar Hutchinson Memorial Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Baseball Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Basketball Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Youth Basketball Scholarship, the Town of Lenox General Fund Scholarship, and the Lenox Police Association Anthony J. Salvatore Senior Award. Mitchell Joseph Shapiro. Mitch is receiving the Custodian's Appreciation Grant. Jet Matthew Steinman. Jet is receiving the Lenox Memorial Baseball Booster Club Scholarship, the Lenox Memorial Basketball Booster Club Scholarship, and the Lenox Youth Basketball Scholarship. Can I have all the graduates rise and follow Jet's lead as he takes your tassel from the right over to the left? So our exit song is that wonderful senior video slideshow, and I hope you enjoy it as we organize an exit. Thank you all for coming. You're a special class.
On a fault line late night, underneath the stars we came alive, and singing to the sky just felt right. I won't forget the good times, while the punks started picking fights with the skater kids under city lights. Remember how we laughed till we cried. I won't forget the good times. I never want to leave this sunset town, but one day the time may come, and I'll take you at your word and carry on. I'll hate the goodbye, but I won't forget the good times. I won't forget the good times. Under the tree where the grass don't grow, shadows disappeared, the animals inside came out to play. Went face to face with all our fears, learned our lessons through the tears, made memories we knew would never fade. One day my father, he told me, son, don't let it slip away. He took me in his arms, I heard him say, when you get older, your wild heart will live for younger days. Think of me if ever you're afraid. He said one day you'll leave this world behind, so live a life you will remember. My father told me when I was just a child, these are the nights that never die. My father told me.
it, and it's going to be about Santa. Yeah, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go! Yes! Hoping for years that our pennies just turning to gold.
It's actually a good game.
I made myself a snowball. Yeah! As perfect as could be. Oh, yeah! I thought I'd keep it as a pet and let it sleep with me. Oh, yeah!
Sometimes I lay under the moon. I thank God I'm breathing. And I pray, don't take me soon, 'cause I am here for a reason. Sometimes in my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it'll all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't wanna fight no more. There'll be no more war, and our children will play. One day, one day, one day.
Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this test and don't ask why. It's not a question but a lesson learned in time. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you had the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on a shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos of memories and dead skin on